Hello internet world, welcome to the newest episode, episode 4. We're on episode 4 already of Be Creative. And this particular episode is actually a viewer request. I had quite a few of you actually say to me in the comments of a previous video in this series how to handle procrastinating or procrastination. And this was a really good subject matter because it can actually stop you from completing many tasks throughout your day, and it's especially an issue if you are working on something that's time critical and you just can't make that decision. So I've got some tips for you in this video on how to beat procrastination. Now, out of the dictionary, the definition of procrastinate is to delay or postpone an action, put off doing something. The temptation will be to procrastinate until the power struggle plays itself out. So it's really postponing making decisions because you think that eventually you'll come up with the right decision, but you just cannot commit to actually making a decision at the time, so you put it off until later. And what you can find if you do suffer from procrastination is that you'll actually delay something time and time again, and you'll never come to actually making that important decision. Now, this is live, of course, so if you've got any questions or comments about this particular subject matter, any tips that you've got, or any sort of help and advice you want, pop it in the live chat. If you're watching this after the live broadcast, then use the regular comment section below. I answer pretty much every single comment I get. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Now, I will open this particular video up to a Q&A in the latter part of this video. This particular series, the Be Creative series, is proving very popular. And it's really for you. So if you've got anything you want covered in a future episode, put that in the chat or in the comment section as well. So, how to beat procrastination. The first tip I've got for you is to use a priority pile. And what I mean by that is if you've got a few things that you need to make a decision about, and you're to-ing and fro-ing, going back and forth on which decision you should make, take this really big step. So get some sheets of paper. It could be post-it notes, little sort of squares of paper, and write down what you're trying to make the decisions about. And then every day in the morning, just put 3 of those, just pull 3 of those out of the pile and put them into a priority pile. And this pile of things you've got to decide about, so the 3 things you just have to make a yes/no decision on within, and give yourself like a 30-minute time limit. And if you do that and really train yourself to make those yes/no decisions within that 30-minute time frame, knowing that you can't put those things back into the pile for tomorrow, then it will help you into retraining your brain to make those decisions. Because there's no such thing really as a wrong decision, because if you choose to do something and then it fails, that's all part of the learning experience. Now, with this priority pile, the rule is if you don't make the decision within 30 minutes on the 3 things you put in the priority pile, you tear them up and put them in the bin. Now, that should also make you prioritise making those decisions, because once they're in the bin, you could forget about them. So, priority pile, tip number 1. Tip number 2, and this makes me smile when I'm sharing this, and I'm smiling because I've done this myself, especially when it comes for myself to making like a business decision, or especially a purchasing decision. I create a pros, or I used to create a pros and cons list. Now, the reason I'm smiling is when you create a pros and cons list, everything that you put in the pro column, so the for column, is often countered by exactly the same number of cons or against reasons in the cons column. So a pros and cons list doesn't really work. So don't make them. Don't make pros and cons list. Make a pros list. So make the things that are for doing this particular action or making this particular decision, and change it into a top 5 pros list. So only write pros down. So if you've got to decide between 2 things, write down the top 5 pros for each, and then that should help you make your decision, because otherwise you're going to go arguing against yourself time and time again. It just makes any decision making process far too complicated, and again, pros and cons lists just do not work. So stick to pros lists, or if you want to do it the other way round, stick to cons lists. If you're really not sure about something, write down all of the negative things about it. I prefer to be a positive person, so I would recommend doing the pros list instead. Tip number 3. Now this is really something you're going to have to engage with somebody else about. If you're really not up to making the decision yourself, and you've been procrastinating about it for a day, 2 days, often sometimes a week or 2 weeks it takes sometimes, then ask someone else to get involved. If you've got a good friend, member of the family, tell them that you're procrastinating about something, you can't make a decision, and that you're going to tell them what the problem or what the decision you've got to make is, and that they're only allowed to give you a yes/no answer. It's like this yes/no game. So tell them you can only say yes or no, you can't give a reason, and then explain what you're trying to make a decision about. Keep it concise, probably a minute, 2 minutes, and then when they say yes/no, then that is your sort of decision. You have to trust them. It has to be a trusted friend, of course. And once you get into the habit of doing this and making these decisions straight away, it will become more natural for you to do it, and you won't have to call on that friend or family member to help you make those decisions. It's nice to get another opinion, but then sometimes if somebody gives you an opinion on top of the yes/no answer, then you go back to procrastinating about that opinion they've given you. So sometimes that can't help. So you need these really clear-cut yes/no answers. Now I'm going to come on to a bonus tip very shortly, but let's have a look inside the live chat. We've got Sumunath, hello to you. Also Idias and Russ B, good morning to you all. Russ B saying, hope you have a good weekend. I hope you do too, Russ. And to everyone watching the video, have a fantastic weekend ahead. Also got Aaron Stoy in the live chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now the Be Creative series, if you want to watch more of these videos, there is a link to the playlist down in the video description area. I cover lots of business advice. I think it was last week, I think it was last week that I did a time management video, so please do check that out. And there are a few other videos for you to watch in the series as well. Keep the comments and questions coming as well, especially if you've got any suggestions of topics that you think should be covered in future episodes of Be Creative. Now the bonus for this particular video, I've got a bonus tip, and my real advice for you is to just try this. Just try it, because I'm sure you will find it works. It's better to try something and fail than not to try at all, because failing at things allows you to sort of grow your skill set and to try something slightly different next time around. So if you're finding it really hard to make a decision about something, maybe it's to do with business, maybe it's to do with a job that you've applied for, could be anything. Instead of procrastinating about it, just go with what your instinct is and just try it. Don't worry about failing. Failing is all part of life, because if you fail at something, then you're going to take that on board, and when you do that same task next time, or a similar task, you're going to try it in a different way. It's all a learning process. So failing does not matter. I have tried so many things in my businesses, believe me. I've tried so many different video series, I've tried different ways of presenting, I've tried different ways of organising my business, I've tried different ways of managing my time, I've made decisions on whether I'm going to do work with certain brands, certain sponsorships, and sometimes I have made the wrong decision and I have failed. But that's taught me that next time I'm going to do things very slightly differently until I get the result that I want that makes me feel happy about my decision. So don't worry about trying, just try it and accept the failure if that's the case, but you're probably worrying about nothing, because more often than not you will make the right decision. So I hope these tips have helped you. This was episode 4 of Be Creative. Check out the link to the playlist in the video description. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, don't forget to leave me some comments. I publish new tech videos pretty much every single day. I've been publishing videos for over 12 years now, and I pride myself on the community aspect of the Geekanoids channel. So all of your comments are welcome, and I answer pretty much every single one. So that's it for that. So that's it for this video. It is live. That's proof that it's live, because we all make mistakes. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic weekend ahead. I'll see you all in the next one.